Hello. Today I'm going to talk about IXL M.12 trig ratios when we're trying to find an angle measure. So basically we're going to use our trig functions. So I am going to first figure out what they give me. So they give me this 16 and they give me a side length of 8. And I am trying to find this angle measure right here. Okay, so this is the angle that I'm looking for. Okay, so I now need to label my hypotenuse, the opposite side, and the adjacent side. Okay, so there's different ways that you can label your sides. Since this is the angle that I am looking for, this angle is going to be attached to the hypotenuse and the adjacent, and then the side that's opposite is opposite. Okay, so since I have the hypotenuse and the opposite side circled, that means I'm going to use the sine. And since I'm looking for this angle right here, I'm just going to call it capital R because that's the angle I'm looking for, is going to equal the opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay, so I need to get the sine away from the R. So in order to do that, I'm going to do the opposite or the inverse of sine on both sides. So the inverse of sine is just sine to the -1 power. So I'm going to do sine -1, 8 over 16. So then what that looks like is sine inverse and sine. Those are inverses of each other, so they cancel each other out. So R is equal to sine inverse. So I'm going to go to my Desmos. And I'm going to type sine inverse. So sine inverse, we're going to go to the keyboard, and then we're going to go to functions. And then it says sine inverse, or sine to the -1 power right there, 8 divided by 16. And remember, we have to change it to degrees. So we're going to hit the wrench, scroll down to degrees, and it's going to say 30. So we're going to type 30, and that's it. Okay? So once you get further along, it's going to look more complicated, but don't stress, it's still the same idea. We're going to circle the angle that I'm looking for, W. I'm going to label the hypotenuse, the adjacent side, and the opposite side. Okay? I'm going to figure out what two sides I have. I have the opposite, and I have the adjacent side. So opposite, adjacent. Am I going to use sine, cosine, or tangent? So I'm going to use tangent because tangent of my angle is opposite over adjacent. So my opposite is the square root of 105 over the adjacent, which I'm not sure what number that is since I circled it, is 35. Square root of 35 is tan of W. So remember, to get W by itself, we have to take the tan inverse. So that's tan to the -1 power, and then it's the square root of 105 over the square root of 35. I'm just going to simply type that in Desmos again. So the tans, gotta use my trig functions, my bad. Tan inverse, here it is. The square root of 105 divided by the square root of 35. And that says 60, so I'm just gonna put 60 and submit. And that's it.